If stretching actually worked the way we think it does, why do you still feel tight after years of doing it? Why does the same spot keep coming back? Today we're going to talk about why traditional stretching often falls short, and in understanding your fascia, what it really needs to create lasting change. What's up, everybody? I'm Joseph Barker, and I'm a structural integrator, and I've worked with hundreds of clients who have come to me saying the same thing. I stretch, but I'm still tight. The problem isn't that they're not trying hard enough. A lot of the times the problem is that we've been thinking about tissue, our tissue restrictions, and how to solve those in the wrong way. In this video, we're going to explore why stretching alone isn't enough, what's actually happening in your fascia, and then 3 evidence-based approaches that actually create lasting change. The stretching myth. Let's start with a question that might surprise you. When you stretch a muscle, are you actually making it longer? Research shows that the gains in flexibility from static stretching are primarily neurological. Your nervous system simply becomes more tolerant of the stretch sensation. The actual structural length of the muscle tissue changes very little, and what changes do occur are often temporary. But here, what's really interesting, your muscles don't exist in isolation. They're wrapped in, connected by, and embedded within fascia, a continuous web of connective tissue that runs throughout your entire body. Think of fascia like the white stuff you see when you peel an orange. It's not just wrapping, it's structurally integrated into everything. When we only focus on stretching an individual muscle, we're missing the bigger picture of how restriction patterns actually develop and persist. So, if stretching isn't changing tissue length significantly, why do fascial restrictions develop in the first place? Fascia responds to how we use our body, or don't use them. When we hold the same posture repeatedly, move in limited patterns, or experience trauma, fascia adapts by becoming denser, less hydrated, and more restrictive in certain areas. Imagine if you wore the same shirt for months without washing it. It would start to stick to itself, lose its flexibility, and develop permanent wrinkles. That's similar to what happens to fascia when we don't get the movement variability and the hydration that it needs. The key insight here is that fascia is a living, adaptable tissue. It's constantly remodeling itself based on the demands that we place upon it. So the question isn't, how do I stretch this tight spot? The question is, how do I create the conditions for fascia to reorganize itself into a more functional pattern? So, what actually does work? Based on current fascial research and my clinical experience, there are 3 key principles that create lasting change. Number 1, movement variability. Instead of holding static stretches, fascia responds best to varied, flowing movements that take joints through multiple planes of motion. Think spirals, waves, and 3-dimensional patterns rather than linear stretches. So you can try this. Instead of a traditional hamstring stretch, try moving your leg in circles, figure 8s, and adding spinal waves. You're giving the entire fascial web new information to work with, and your body will adapt to that new information and those different movement patterns. Principle 2, pressure and release. Fascia contains more sensory receptors than muscle tissue. When we apply appropriate pressure through tools like foam rollers, balls, hands-on work, we are stimulating these receptors and encouraging fluid change within the tissue. The key is pressure followed by movement. Don't just sit on a painful spot. Apply pressure, breathe, and then move through range of motion to help reorganize the tissue. I can't state this one enough. So much of the time in my clinical practice, I see people foam roll or to dig into parts of their body and then not do the follow-up movement to help really integrate that into their body. Principle number 3, hydration and timing. Healthy fascia is about 70% water. Gentle rhythmic movements, like bouncing, oscillating, or rebounding, help to pump fluid through the fascial matrix. This is why you might feel more mobile after a warm-up or a gentle movement. Something like rebounding, Tai Chi, Qigong, Aquafit. These gentle movements help to move the fluid through your entire structure. This isn't about forcing or pushing through restrictions. It's about creating the right conditions for the fascia to soften and to reorganize itself naturally. Practical application. Let me show you what this may look like in practice. Let's say that you have what is a common feeling, tightness between your shoulder blades. Now, a more traditional approach is to do a doorway stretch and to stretch your pec major for about 30 seconds, maybe 3 times. The more holistic and fascial approach is to start with gentle arm circles, move into figure 8s, add some spinal waves and rotation, use a tennis ball, and do pressure and release on your pec major as well as your rhomboids and your shoulder area. Follow up with more movement, like some cat-cow and or empty coat sleeve swings. And then you can finish off with some gentle bouncing or shaking. So the difference is that we're addressing the whole body and we're not just working with the isolation of the sore spot. That area is a part of a whole system. The truth is, lasting change in fascial health isn't about finding the right stretch or technique. It's about understanding that your body is an integrated system that thrives on movement variety, appropriate challenge, and consistent care. This doesn't mean that stretching is bad, and it can feel great and it has its own place. I still stretch a little bit every day. But if you want to address chronic restrictions and create lasting change, you need to think more holistically and think bigger than just individual muscle stretching. You need to think fascially. If this resonates with you, I'd love to know, what area of chronic tightness have you been trying to stretch away for years? Drop a comment below and let me know. And if you want to dive deeper into fascial health, make sure to subscribe and to hit the notification bell. Next week, we'll be talking about why your posture isn't the problem you think it is. Remember, your body is incredibly adaptable. When we work with fascia instead of against it, amazing things become possible. Thank you so much and have a great day.